Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So today we're going to be talking about the alleged 99 names attributed to Allah. And I just want to preface this that this is partly not my own original research. It's built upon the research of Amin Sabri, a channel on YouTube. And he's done some great work at compiling basically the inventions and fabrications attributed to Allah, glorified be He. And basically, what we see in these traditions of 99 names attributed to God in Islam today are actually nothing of the sort. So, all the names that you can see here on the screen, both the transliteration of what's on the screen in Arabic, are actually not in the Qur'an whatsoever. They have been falsely attributed to Allah, the creator of the heavens and the earth. And I just want to explain that basically when you grow up as a Muslim today in, either Sunni or Shia Islam, there is this unanimous, or at least agreed upon, consensus that there are 99 names of Allah. And when you go in the Quran to try to find evidence of that, you don't find any of these names there. So the question is, where did they come from? Well, obviously they come from a hadith, a lot of them. Some of them are just contrived from similar wording in the Quran, but it's not identical, and it's actually wrong to, basically construe a name that is not verbatim attributed to Allah, that He says about Himself. So I noticed that in studying these 40 falsely attributed names to Allah, that 11 of them, which are highlighted in yellow and underlined, are actually not in the lists that most people are accustomed to of the 99 names. And it's very interesting because if that's the case, then clearly the idea that Allah has 99 names, which is a concept in ahadith or narrations attributed to the Prophet Muhammad, is actually inconsistent and false itself. So what we see is there is a list of 99 names. A lot of them are actually from the Quran, but a great majority of them are not. So what ends up happening is you'll see that there is actually 11 additional names from hadith. They're very obscure too. Most people have not heard of this unless they actually study hadith in depth, which would make a grand total of 110 possible names according to Sunni Islam. Now, the fact that there's a discrepancy tells you a lot, that basically this is not a exact science whatsoever. And it's simply just a matter of having the magic number 99 thrown out there. So if we have a total of 110 names, okay, that we know of for sure, and 11 of them are not even included in standard lists of the 99 names, which is a big deal if you follow these narrations attributed to the Prophet Muhammad, because some narrations that are authenticated by scholars today say that if you memorize all of these 99 names of Allah, you will actually enter paradise. This is a kind of get to paradise quick scheme. So clearly, even hadith admits that there are more than 99 altogether. So let's subtract all of these 40 names on the screen. So we get actually a number 70. There are actually 70 names only, actual titles of Allah, the Almighty, in the standard list of 99. Okay? So the reason I made this video is because basically this is a major concern for anybody that believes in Allah and the Day of Judgment. The reason why is because we have a very clear verses in the Quran that suggests people will be deviating concerning these titles of the Creator of the heavens and the earth. This is from chapter 7, verse 180. And to Allah belong the best names, so invoke Him by them, and leave those who practice deviation concerning His names. They will be recompensed for what they have been doing. Has it occurred to somebody that perhaps the mainstream narrative regarding sectarian Islam today, in modern times, that verse might have something to do with this thing on the screen here? Something I want to add too from Amin Sabri's research is that, and I'll put the link to the video. If you speak Arabic, then you'll enjoy the video. What he was saying is that the word as-sabur, as compared with an actual name of Allah, Al-Halim, which is in the Qur'an, is basically showing that there's a discrepancy in the understanding of Allah's attributes based on these titles. As-sabur comes from the word as-sabr, which refers to patience or endurance. So they refer to Allah with this name as the patient one or the enduring one. The only problem with that is as-sabr, patience, is something that is experienced within time in the temporal world. This is something that Allah is not subject to because He created time and space. And obviously, there's no need for Allah to be patient at all. The word Al-Halim is in the Quran because it exemplifies something that's beyond time and space. Sometimes this is translated as the forbearing one. But it's very, very important to stick to what Allah identifies Himself and His attributes in the Quran alone. Because if you actually call upon something that Allah does not associate with, what do you think that will be? Clearly, we have in the Quran mention of calling upon Allah alone, calling upon His names, upon His titles, His attributes alone. Well, we don't see that. We don't see that with this practice, this inherited tradition. And so, if you call upon anything other than Allah, what you are actually calling upon are rebellious devils. And these devils from the jinn accept this worship known as shirk, which goes against the fundamental premise of the deen. The deen is a complex topic, but this is what Muslims understand to be the actual primordial, inherent religion, inherent in all mankind, in all of creation. A natural inclination towards worshiping one God, the Creator alone. So, because shirk, this partnership or this attribution or association or incorporation of other entities from the creation with the Lord that created them, because that's not forgivable, Allah says Himself, He does not forgive this association. We have to be very careful as believers to not make that mistake. So if you pray with any of these names on the screen, please reevaluate what you are doing, because these are not validated whatsoever in the Quran al-Azim. So I mentioned of the 99, there's 70 names that are actually from the Quran, and there's actually more than that, and I'm going to introduce them to you. I'll make sure to put a link in the description of this video that you can actually read in the Google Doc. All of the names in there that Amin Sabri was able to find in the Quran. A lot of them will surprise you because you would never consider this to be actually a title, but that's exactly what it is. So obviously I'm not going to read all of these names on the slides I have for you today, but if you just take any of these Arabic words, put them in a translator or find the meaning online, It will do you a whole world of service to understand the depth of what is going on here. So there are more verses in the Quran about the names or titles attributed to Allah. This is from chapter 12, verse 40. You worship not besides Him except names you have named them, you and your fathers, for which Allah has sent down no authority. Legislation is not but for Allah. He has commanded that you worship not except Him. That is the correct religion. But most of the people do not know. Allah is directly associating with Yusuf's words, the Prophet Yusuf, that using names that are not given any authority as God's names is not the correct religion and is not actually worship of Him. And this is actually accentuated as such a big problem that most people do not even practice or understand this. In chapter 17, verse 110, Allah says, say, call upon Allah or call upon Ar-Rahman. Whichever you call, to Him belong the best names. And do not recite loudly in your salah or quietly, but seek between that away. So again, two of the most important names that you can ever call upon if you decide to call upon your Creator in the language He revealed His revelation is Allah, the God, and Ar-Rahman. Those encompass the best names altogether. In chapter 20, verse 8, Allah says, Allah, there is no deity except Him. To Him belong the best names. To reiterate that these names cannot possibly belong to any other person. Chapter 27, verse 23, Allah says, they are not but names you have named them, you and your forefathers, for which Allah has sent down no authority. They follow not except assumption and what the souls desire. And there has already come to them from their Lord guidance. This is in the context of the goddesses that we are told that the Quraysh, the tribe at the time of the Prophet Muhammad, worshipped the goddesses Al-Lat, Al-Izza, and Al-Manat. And Allah is saying this is actually from assumptions, from their desires. He did not sanction any of these names as from Him. Allah says in chapter 59, verse 24, He is Allah, Al-Khaliq, Al-Bari, Al-Musawwir. To Him belong the best names. Whatever is in the heavens and the earth is exalting Him. And He is Al-Aziz Al-Hakim. I just wanted to reiterate this chapter 59, Surah, because this is somewhere where you find the most mention of Allah's names back to back, probably, I think, in the entire Quran. So it's especially important to understand these principles of Allah will reveal to us exactly what He decides we should call Him. He says, if we had sent down this Qur'an upon a mountain, you would have seen it humbled and coming apart from awe of Allah. And these examples we present to mankind that perhaps they will give thought. He is Allah, other than whom there is no deity. عَالِمُ الْغَيْبِ وَالشَّهَادَةِ. He is Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. He is Allah, other than whom there is no deity. الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر. Exalted is Allah above whatever they associate with Him. Again, He is Allah al-Khaliq al-Bari al-Musawwir. To Him belong the best names. Whatever is in the heavens and the earth is exalting Him. And He is Al-Aziz al-Hakim. So you can find these verses for yourself, and I just kept them in the Arabic name because I believe that this language has power, and if you pronounce them in Arabic, it has a special effect, I believe, on the world. This is why the Quran, in the first verse there, would have humbled mountains if it came down upon a mountain. And I believe that it's important to understand what they mean as well, like as-salam, the peace, the source of peace, because obviously not everybody speaks Arabic. So in worship, it's important to understand the actual meaning behind the words that Allah calls Himself. So let's get down to the true titles of Allah in the Quran. And it's interesting because Amin Sabri, in his investigation, counted exactly 206 of these names. And they do come in different configurations in the Quran as well. These ones are this is the configuration most people are familiar with. Allah, Ar-Rahman, Al-Qawi, Al-Aziz, Al-Sami', Al-Basir, Al-Malik, Al-Quddus, Al-Salam, and on and so forth. So interesting that there are exactly 206 bones in the adult human body. And the word for bone in Arabic is actually related to one of the most amazing names that is attributed and associated with Allah in the Quran, that being Al-Azim. And the word for bone is Al-Azam. So it implies something of spectacular strength, something that is formidable or magnificent, sublime. We see in the Quran that this title is given to Allah's Arsh, or the throne of God, Al-Arsh Al-Azim. It's also given to the Qur'an that was given to the Prophet Muhammad, Al-Qur'an Al-Azim. So this is a very important word, and it's just not a coincidence that that number 206 feeds into another word from that very same root in Arabic. So these are 72 names of Allah's titles in this first list that you can find in the Quran for yourself. This list has a total number of 70. So you'll find like some of the names that nobody actually uses today in any list that I've seen, other than the one that Amin Sabri put forward, such as Rabb al-Falaq, Rabb al-Nas, the Lord of the Daybreak, Lord of Mankind, Malik al-Nas, Ilah al-Nas, King of Mankind, God of Mankind. So these are specific, and only Allah can have these names, as is mentioned in the Quran. Like for example, Alimu bi kulli shay, you knower of every single thing. Then the two last lists that we have here to make a total of 206 names attributed to God in the Quran alone. We have a lot of them are relating to possession. So for example, Dhul Quwwah, the possessor of power. Dhul Rahmah, the possessor of mercy. Dhul Arsh, the possessor of the throne. There is so much power to having this information available in front of you as a believer in God, because all you have to do is add the translation in your own language. Say these names in Arabic if you're comfortable pronouncing Arabic, and I guarantee you, your heart will start to relax at the mention of these names, because they are, according to Allah's revelation, only ones that can only be describing Him. So yeah, when you look at the fourth list of 21 names, a lot of them have the word khair in there, which is related to goodness, something that's better. So this is, you can take any of these. I'll put the link in the description below. Yeah, and that's the presentation for today. I just wanted to add this very important topic. And until next time, peace.